another thing that was always clear but became definitive today, if they're priced out on Ron Hainsey, they're priced out on Jake Gardiner. That ship is sailing, if it hasn't already sailed. What kind of price tag do you expect on Gardiner? And a lot of people are circling Vancouver. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it seems. Now, a lot of times what's so obvious sometimes doesn't happen, but right now it seems so obvious and so clear that the Canucks are focused in on Tyler Myers. And so, to me, if I had to choose between the two, I would take Gardiner. But it seems like, Myers is in the 6 or 7 year range and, north of $6 million. And so if that's the case, I would suspect Gardiner's the same. The only question I would have for Gardiner is, is his back a long-term issue or has he moved past that? And,
there hasn't been a lot of news on that. Not much at all.
And it's important, clearly important, right? I would suspect if you're going ahead to Team X and you want to invest $36 to $40 million, you've got to make sure that he's healthy, and so that's probably part of the deal. You're going to have to pass a physical through our doctors before we can okay that kind of commitment.
Well, who would you take, Gardiner or Myers?
Oh, me, Gardiner.
Yeah. Myers is a guy because his rookie year he came out of the gate. He's a monster. And then it got ugly in Buffalo, but then he found a great fit in Winnipeg because he didn't have to be the number one guy or anything close to it with Bufflin there and others. But, man, his stock is high. And what is he? Be a 4?
He got 9 goals last year.
I think he's
9 goals the last couple of years. I think he's had 9, 10, or 11 goals, I think 5 times is what I saw. He's a 4 for me.
Yeah. I think, guys, I know you just said you guys would take Gardiner, and you assume you would take him too. I like the puck-moving ability, the stretch pass, but the total body of work, I'll take Tyler Myers all day, every day. All day, every day.
No, go ahead. He played on the third pair in Winnipeg. He got caved in lots of nights. I don't. This contract will age poorly for Myers. I don't. In my mind, that's not even a guess. A 6'7" guy is not going to become more agile as he gets older, and his agility is in question now. He has trouble with quick forwards. Gardiner will age more gracefully because the things he doesn't do now, he's not going to do as he gets older. Yeah, it's never going to be, but he's still going to be able to move the puck. He's still going to be able to skate. His skating's not going to deteriorate, I don't think, to a point where it becomes a liability, and Myers, in my opinion, will.
Well, and that's your opinion, but it's an opinion that is well based, right. And you're a hockey guy. You're in the rink. You're sitting there watching it. So if you have that opinion, I'm sure there's others around the league that would have the opinion. Yet he's going to get a 6 or 7 year deal at 6.5 or $7 million.
Yeah, he's going to get probably
it's going to happen.
Closer to 7. Would you agree, Ray?
Yeah, I do.
I think both of them.
I think it's like a $45 million over 7.
Right. So, what's and in Vancouver?
Not from me.
No, I understand that, but if it's Vancouver, apples and oranges, different players, but they're going through it with Louis Eriksson right now. A guy where
Brian, they also have from last July 1st from the bounty of Tim Schaller, $1.9 million. That was a healthy scratch 30 times. Jay Beagle, who's got another 3 years at $4 million left. They signed Antoine Roussel, who had an excellent season until he tore his ACL. He's going to be out till Christmas. But they've spent money that I just can't quite understand. I don't see it. Now they're trying to trade Brandon Sutter, who's got $4.5 million left for a couple of years. Where are you offloading those contracts?
Well, you're going to have to sweeten them to make them go away.
But how much? They don't have enough prospects to sweeten anything.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the they've boxed themselves in with the Ericssons and the Beagles, and it's like they have no set view of what they're supposed to be. And so they're scattershot all over the place. And so in my estimation, if they go and sign Myers, they're better today than they were last year. But they're not a playoff team, and all of a sudden you're going to have to deal with the next 7 years of a contract that you're not going to like.
Well, that's where you get into dangerous territory where you've got a GM who's got to be on the hot seat. He's been there for 4 years, and they haven't made the playoffs.
Year five.
Year 5, they haven't made the playoffs. They haven't even come close. And he just handed a first-round pick over that is protected next year, but it rolls over in 2021 in Tampa in the JT Miller deal. That's where you get a guy he knows he's got to get in. You got to get in. And when you got to get in, that's when you get into trouble. So
guys,
I don't know.
So Brian, just think of this. Tampa, everybody knows Tampa's got a skid salary out of town, and they get a first-round pick.
Great deal for them.
Yeah, it was.
They don't want to lose JT Miller, but they got a first-round pick back.
Well, and again, like I said earlier in the week, context is totally different, but the Leafs had to trade a first to dump salary.
Right.
Tampa gets a first to dump salary.
Optically, it didn't look great, but it was a necessity so you could have those two signings today.
Yes. Yeah. And Tampa can sign Braden Point and Andrei Vasilevsky and keep everybody. And then they'll just slide in Cirelli and they'll slide in other guys.
Yeah, they've got to sort out. Like Strawman is unrestricted. I don't know if they're going to bring him back. He had some injury issues, but you're right. But context, everything. JT Miller made Tampa a little bit deeper, a little bit better. Like they hope. I can't remember the name of their kid in the minors. They've got a kid that is really good, that was on the cusp of being called up. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but that's where I think they hope that kid steps in.
Yep.
And that's where your depth. That's where the Leafs' depth is going to have to come in, either on D or up front, if you are a top-heavy team financially.
Well, I heard you mention on the way in, looking for the next Tyler Ennis or somebody like that. Well, the toughest part of that is to identify those players before they have the good year. Right? That's when you get them cheap. Because Alex Chiasson, for example, he scored 22 goals, 18 of them in the first half, but he scored 22 goals this year. If you identify Chiasson as Edmonton did last year, you got him on a PTO, they signed him for $750. Those are the types of players, if you're a cap stretch team, that your pro scouts have to identify. That you have to try and find these guys, but everybody else is looking for them too. It's not an easy thing, but if you get one or two of those guys, that's going to help you band-aid over some pretty tight spots.